OIC foreign ministers are meeting in Islamabad, and this is a 2-day session. So I thought I should share some of the challenges that the Muslim world is facing and what are their solutions. First challenge that the Muslim world or OIC is facing, that is number one, Kashmir issue. That issue has become a human tragedy, and still nothing has been done by the OIC, especially when India annexed one part, one territory of Kashmir. The Muslim world was silent. Instead, the Saudi prince was in India for a major economic deal or trade deal. That was unfortunate. Similarly, another issue is Palestine. That is also, it is a very old issue, and Palestine is almost over. And unfortunately, it is in the Middle East. Third issue is Rohingya Muslims in Burma. They were killed and massacred, but nobody did anything. Similarly, in China, Uyghur minority, they are also facing problems, and the Muslim world is silent. Especially, Mahathir Mohamad was asked by an Indian interviewer when he was giving interview to an Indian TV channel. He said, "Why don't you talk about Kashmir, but you don't talk about Uyghur Muslims?" And he said, "Because India listens to us. It means China does not listen to." And interestingly, Chinese foreign minister was also here, and nobody is taught, especially Pakistan, is vocal about Kashmir and Palestine, but Pakistani government and Pakistani media is also silent about Uyghur minority in China. So this is number one problem, that in different parts of the world, Muslims are facing problems and they are being mistreated, but nobody is talking about them, especially the Muslim world. OIC, they are doing nothing to help them. Second major problem is, or challenge, is war in Yemen. And war in Yemen has done nothing to motivate Muslims to do something for it. So in Yemen, young children, civilians, they are being killed, they are suffering, but the Muslim world is sitting silent. Similarly, war in Yemen and Iran, Saudi ill will, that is also continuing. And if Iran and Saudi Arabia, they represent two major factions of the Muslim world. If they remain enemies, nobody can bring Muslims together. Third challenge is disparities on the basis of gender. Muslim countries have not done enough to empower women. Women empowerment is very important because they are 50% of the population. So without women empowerment, proper education facilities and job opportunities, business freedom and other rights, it is difficult for a country to make progress. Fourth problem is economic disparity. Number one, economic disparity between the rest of the world or developed world and the Muslim world. In terms of income per capita, the lowest country is a Muslim country. Similarly, some countries are better, like Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar. They are doing well. But if you talk about overall economic strength, Muslim countries stand nowhere like as compared to the developed world. And within the countries, most of the people, they are not getting the economic benefits that they should. So the gap between those who benefit from economic progress and those who don't, that is widening in the Muslim world. Poverty is also increasing. So economic disparity is another major challenge. Fifth major challenge is mistrust between the Muslims and the Western world. That is a big challenge. 9/11 deepened this crisis or this challenge, this gap between them. And nothing has been done to bring them together because we cannot live on havens or isolated islands. That's not possible. We have to live together with the world, and the mistrust must be removed. Sixth problem is obscurantism. Still, different philosophies or thoughts are presented as if they are Islamic ideology. Islam always empowered minority. Islam always empowered women. Islam took care of minorities. Islam was a liberal, progressive religion. Islam brought light to the world. But what we see here is in different parts of the world, hatred for other people, for even for Muslims. That is because of obscurantism, or it's kind of certain philosophies that are propagated by those people who don't understand Islam. So we must do something. We have people like Javed Al-Ghamdi and Dr. Israr was there. May his soul rest in peace. But right now, there are people like Javed Al-Ghamdi who are reasonable, rational. So we should benefit from the knowledge of such people, and we should fight this obscurantism in the Islamic world. Seventh crisis is the leadership crisis. We don't have any leader. That is a problem. The Muslim world will never agree on one person and they will never accept one person as the leader because of historical differences and because of other problems as well. So leadership, that's a serious crisis, and leaders must think about it. If they cannot provide leadership, then they should give chance to the second tier of leaders, or they should simply relinquish. Eighth problem is unity. After the Prophet, and like after in the early days of history of Islam, we developed differences, and those differences continue, and nothing has been done to unify and to unite Muslims. Ninth challenge is situation of minorities. Minorities, this is a serious problem, and Muslim countries must do something to ensure that minorities are protected in these countries and they have their rights. Tenth issue is governance. In Muslim countries, we don't have a proper model of governance. We give the examples of Hazrat Umar or Riyasat al-Madinah, but in essence, we don't actually, we have failed to provide good governance. That's a huge issue. And 11th problem is justice. If you look at justice system in different countries, especially in Pakistan, this justice system, must be reformed. Judicial reforms are must, because this judicial system is so slow, and especially it needs. It is like you can say, it does not provide justice to poor people. Only a rich man can buy justice, but a poor man, he cannot or she cannot. That's very unfortunate. What are the solutions? First thing is we need to engage within the Muslim world and with the wider world. Within the Muslim world, so that Muslims are united and they forget the differences and they are together for progress and prosperity. And with the wider world, because there is mistrust, so we need to overcome that. Second thing is nation building. All these countries in OIC, they first focus on nation building. They should build their own nations. And then they should try to work together towards something better or a bigger goal. Third thing is research and development. Some countries, they are trying, like Saudi Arabia has started a university, and in Qatar there's a university. UAE is also working on it, but that is not enough. Research and we are low. If you look at our research, our spending on research and development, that is very low. So we have to work on research and development so that science, maths, and these subjects we start making progress in these fields. Because without making progress in research and development in today's competitive world, we cannot survive. Fourth is conflict resolution. Conflict within the Muslim world, like Yemen conflict, that is within the Muslim world, and OIC can play its role and it can be resolved. Similarly, Iran and Saudi Arabia conflict is within the Muslim world, so that should be resolved. And their conflicts that Muslim countries, they are directly affected. Muslim populations are, like Kashmir, Palestine, Uyghur Muslims, Rohingya Muslims. So these issues need to be resolved. And after conflict resolution, I think the world will be a more peaceful place. And Muslims will also be free of these, free from spending their energies on these issues. They can spend their energies on and resources on something better. Fifth is policy of winning friends. We always try to be enemies, like I am against the West, or America doesn't like me, or other countries, they don't like me. So why we focus and spend our time and energies on making more enemies? Why don't we make a policy of winning more friends? Like already the friends we have, why don't we focus on them? And then we try to win more friends. because everybody needs more friends. Similarly, countries need more friends. Today, we are living in an economic world where we need more friends. China and America, they are competitors, but their trade volume is not decreasing. They are doing trade. Similarly, sixth issue is building stronger relation institutions. Especially in Pakistan, we need to build institutions. That is a very important thing. Why nations fail? Why nations fail? The author of that book says, countries, nations fail because their institutions fail. And in Pakistan, especially, we see that institutions are not working properly, and we need to build those institutions. Similarly, the rest of the Muslim world, they can also focus on building their institutions. As seventh solution is unity. We must unite. And this unity should not be based on hatred for the wider world. No, we should unite and we should also spread that love and unity for the rest of the world as well. Why should we be enemies to others? No, we don't need. We need more friends, and we should work together. The eighth is tolerance for minorities. We should educate our masses, ulama ikram, and the government and state media, and they can schools, colleges, universities. Syllabus can be changed so that minorities are tolerated by the majority. Similarly, leadership is a major problem, and it reminds me Shakespeare's quotation that it's the time's plague when madmen lead the blind. That is very unfortunate that our leadership has failed us, and we have failed to elect or to select proper leadership. There are few examples, but we don't have, you could say, visionary leadership, a leader with a vision. Similarly, 10th solution is governance. We must reform our governance model. In Pakistan, still there is a debate. We need presidential system or which system do we need? It is like not. I mean, we should number one, we should not delay because already making the constitution of 1973 took us 26 years. So, and still we don't agree on the model of governance that how we should govern the countries. In Muslim countries, mostly there are kings and there are sultans and there are amirs and dictatorship. There is no democracy, so we must elect. We should decide which system do we want. We need khilafat, we need a democracy, we need dictatorship. And so first we should decide, and then number two, there should be consistency in it. Like China, for example, they have a complete totalitarian regime or they have communist regime, but there is consistency in it. So we should agree on one system and then we should follow that. And the most important thing is justice. All the inhabitants, everybody living in Muslim countries should feel that justice is not, it's not impossible to get justice. Justice must be for all. It should be speedy and it should be fair. People should feel that they can get justice in Muslim worlds. So these were some of the points I think OIC needs to focus on. Leadership and in the Muslim countries, they must focus on it because people are suffering, and it is the duty of the leaders that they should solve these problems, the problems that people are facing. Thank you very much, and have a nice day. My best wishes for the leaders of the OIC and the people who are waiting and looking up to their leaders that they would come up with some solution or with some, like they can be their saviors. So let's see whether it's OIC or OIC.